Coach. Maybe some thoughts from you, looking back to last Saturday and what you're looking forward to with your first road trip of the season to UCLA.
Yeah, yesterday was a day that we previewed or reviewed the Washington game, and some good, a lot of stuff that we got to get better at. So it wasn't a fun day. It's never a fun day after a loss, but there's some corrections getting made, and we certainly have some adjustments to do because of some of the injuries. So we got a lot of work to do to get one of the most talented teams in our league at their place Saturday night.
Rich, if you had to go to a walk-on in the running back situation to at least get into a second or third role, which one is capable of being that guy right now?
A walk-ons? Well, Brandon Leon is one that's done a great job, and I think he's ready to play some. Obviously, that position has gotten hit a little bit, and we got to. The problem with that is that our progress gets stemmed offensively. And JJ was a really sharp guy, or is a sharp guy, and every week we were going to do more and more with him. But now, we got to go back to step one a little bit. So we'll adjust. That those things happen in the game, and we'll have 11 when we go out there, I hope.
Is Trey Griffey's block on Brandon's touchdown run the type of play that you can show the team as an example of the sort of effort that you like or that's required to win these types of games?
Yeah, I don't, and we don't necessarily show that. I think because that's kind of expected, for our guys to play that way. Trey's plays hard and he's a physical guy, and it was a great effort play on that. But as I told the team yesterday, that's kind of needs to be our standard. I mean, we need to play that way all the time on every play, and that shouldn't be the exception.
Apparently, you said on radio today that if you could do it back again, you would not kick the field goal. You would go for the touchdown when you were up 7-0 on fourth down, but you just wanted a different play call.
Oh yeah, I'd go for it again, 100%. Wouldn't not think twice about the decision to go for it. I'd call a better play. They got in a defense that's hard to run that particular play against, and so I would go for it again, but call a different play. But hindsight's pretty good at this point.
What kind of progress you see from Brandon, start 2 to start 3?
Well, I think he competed well. I think he made some positive steps. There's a few plays he'd like to have back. He probably wasn't as sharp in some respects as the game before, but his ability to run and create something with the run game, take what would normally be a 10 or 15-yard gain and taking it 40 or 50, really was a big lift. And I think every game he plays, he gets more confidence and shows some positive signs. Again, the progress might be stemmed a little bit because of the injuries, so that's, but it's not necessarily a bad thing because we don't want to give him too much and give some of those new guys that are going to be playing too much because you got a talented team that's going to play pretty hard against you, so you better be sharp mentally.
How much does where you are with the injuries at the running back position factor into how you go forward with the quarterback position and your ability to be able to run the football?
Well, I don't know if it's as affects as much what we do with our quarterback-wise. It just affects a little bit what we do offensively. We had some plans for some two-back sets. In fact, we had a lot of plans for our two tailback sets, and when that position gets hit that well, obviously those plans have changed somewhat. So that's probably the biggest difference in the progress of our offense. We know there's so many things we'd like to do, but injuries happen. Unfortunately, like it was a year ago, you don't want it all hit the same position. That's where you take the bigger hit, but it happens.
How do you coach Brandon's vision?
Well, the biggest thing is not only post-snap, but pre-snap. And understanding once a play is called, and this is the natural progression for quarterbacks, once a play is called, you want him to immediately process, okay, this is what it looks like. This is where all my guys are. And he doesn't have to think about that. His focus can then be, all right, this is where their guys are at. I know where my guys are going and where my guys will be at. Now, how are they lined up to it? And I think sometimes when you first start playing, you don't look at their guys. You think about where our guys are going. We shouldn't have to worry about where our guys are going. If they do the right job, they'll be where they're supposed to be, so your eyes and your focus can be on where they're at. And he's gotten better with that, and he'll continue to get better with that.
Are there other guys you can move to running back if you have to?
I think there's several guys, some receivers that have played running back in high school. We're actually talking about that a little bit last night, and we'll talk about it through today. We don't practice again until tomorrow morning, so we'll we'll figure out, there's gonna be some guys there that can maybe help us that played. The problem is, as you saw when TJ played running back, but he hadn't got a lot of reps and hadn't gotten hit a lot at tailback. So you got to get some reps this week in practice. It's not the same as live reps, but we'll work it.
Has it ever been this bad at any point in your career, at this specific position?
At running back, I don't know. The biggest part, again, it happens that JJ, I think, was beginning to show everybody just how special he is. This young man is special, and so is the rest of our guys. But JJ is, he's a special talent and a very tough individual. And you feel more than anything, just feel bad for him. He'll be back 100%, and be even better. But right now it stings.
And he's gone for the year?
More than likely.
What's the biggest thing that Tyrell needs to work on at running back?
Just everything in the position, where the press the blocks, the ball security, the blocking. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. And Zach, I thought, did pretty well when he was in there. And Coach McGee, again, is outstanding. So he'll get a couple guys ready.
You rolled out Brandon a little bit more this week in the pass game. Why is that an effective way for him to operate outside the pocket?
Well, Brandon's good. He throws well on the run. I think he's comfortable doing that. He's comfortable in the pocket too, but he's really accurate throwing on the run, which is a nice trait to have because we need to move different launch points. Not that we can't protect in a base pocket type of protection, but it helps with teams if they're going to twist their fronts or bring some blitzes that you can change your launch points.
It seemed to have a nice early rapport with Poindexter. Did Sean leave? Did he leave after that? Did he ever come back?
They got banged up too.
An update to a story I'm working on with Taka. Now there's going to be a new name. Now that they're able to do it, it looked like Sonny kind of brought it back. What do you know about how hard he worked in the offseason to?
Oh gosh, Jason, I don't know how many, he told me one day how many hours. I'm talking about hours and hours and hours, maybe over hundreds of hours that he worked on, not only on the hawk itself, but the words and the presentation. And he's been working with the team, since camp at different times, but the time before that, just to lead up into it, where it's exclusively Arizona's and our programs, which I told him, I said, you've done such a great job, and hopefully this will be one of your legacies. And it was nice. They've been working on it. They did it before the game, and just Sonny deserves a ton of credit for doing that. I'm really proud of it.
What do you make of the race in the Pac-12? Just crazy games, close games?
It is. I don't. I know sometimes it sounds like coach speak when we say the league is every team is a good team, and you never know what's going to happen on those Saturday games. And it's already 1 or 2 weeks into the league games, and you're already seeing it. It's going to be that way all year. I'm not surprised by it, and I don't think any other coaches are. I mean, maybe the casual fan that doesn't really pay much attention to what's happening in our league does. But it's going to be very hard for anybody in our league to go undefeated throughout in a league conference schedule. Not saying there's not teams that could do it, but it'll be hard.
What stood out to you about UCLA's game against Stanford?
How they matched, Stanford obviously is known for their physicality, and UCLA matched it play for play. UCLA's changed a little bit their philosophy on offense, but they're toe-to-toe, banging with them, physical, athletic, an experienced team. So it's obviously a big challenge for us. And we've not played well against them in any year that we've played. So we've got to play better, and got to play better on the road.
What is the biggest change with their UCLA offensive?
They're less, I guess, spread in their main principles is more of a, I guess you call it more, it says pro style, but pro style is shotgun spread nowadays. I guess more I formation, more tight end oriented formation, more under center, not as much up tempo. Last year they were similar to us, and so it's a different, whereas practice against ourselves may have helped us some last year. This year it's not as much of a help in doing that.
You guys see year 1, year 2 progression from Jake Browning. What have you seen on film with year 1, year 2 with Josh Rosen?
A lot of the same things, even though it's a different system, so it's hard to compare, but he's an extremely talented guy. Everybody knew out of high school he was either 1 or 2, top-rated guys coming out of high school. He's a big, strong guy, athletic and tough, and very intelligent. You could tell last year his intelligence as a true freshman, and now he's got a completely different system and is picked right up. So I don't know if you can fool him too much. I think he's obviously got a great grasp of the game of football.
Going back to JJ's injury briefly, did it seem like the whistle was a little bit late on that play, and maybe it could have been?
Well, at the time I thought so. I thought, oh, I'm kind of like, I'm saying to myself, blow the whistle, but I don't know. And that kind of happened a little bit, rolled afterwards, I think, but I didn't, it's just bad luck.
Tight ends finally scored this weekend. Can you just talk about the progress in that position?
Yeah, I don't think finally, we'd have been throwing to them before if they got open. We're using a tight end quite a bit. It was nice Brandon made a nice play, and Josh made a nice play in the way the play was designed. But we're using 11 personnel probably 60% of the time. But we got good tight ends. We've recruited. We've got some on the roster now, and then we've got some good young ones, and we've recruited. So we're going to be really good at that position years to come.
Do you see progress coming from the defense?
At times, I think our guys are resilient. They're a scrappy bunch. We did a nice job in a couple sudden change situations and in the red zone. But, we still need to create more turnovers. We still need to do a lot better job in 3 and outs. That's the most frustrating thing is we're not, particularly when we're trying to, in a game that we feel that we got to try to control the tempo and the pace and make them play a lot of plays. And we were able to do that a little bit offensively, but in the first quarter, but defensively, we're not making them come back on the field because we're not getting 3 and outs. And so that's something that we got to try to work on.
Is there one advancement defensively that you're seeing here in these early games that you're saying, yeah, that's something?
I think they're getting a little more comfortable with some of the calls. Everything is new even for our upperclassmen defensively as far as terminology is concerned and some of our checks are concerned. And so I think they're getting more comfortable with that, but we still had a few busts. And some of us young guys, that's going to happen, and they'll get that corrected. But I know there's a lot of other things. We got to get off blocks a little better. We tackled okay. I think we tackled better, but we didn't have the same urgency to get off blocks, or we couldn't get off blocks. And part of that's due to they're pretty good up front, but we got to do a better job of getting off blocks quicker.
You guys are 6th in the nation in net punt average. When do you decide to have Josh do one of those rugby-style punts, and how do you decide to not do one of those and do a traditional punt?
Why would I say, right? I mean, we wouldn't tell you why. And there's particular reasons that Coach Regal and the rest of the staff decide when to roll punt and when to roll punt and cross kick and when to normal punt, based on field position or how they're playing us. But we practice a variety of different methods of punting, and I think that's what's different. That even all of our punters, I don't think any of them have worked the variety of punts that we ask them to do. But as I told them, they've got an hour and a half every practice to work on it. No matter what else they got to do, go shoot pool or something. So I told Josh he's got 18 periods to work on all his kicks, and he's been pretty consistent. I'm really proud of the way he's performed thus far.
The play where Nate tried to field the punt and then he got hit immediately.
Yeah.
Was that a case of just trying to
Probably too much. Yeah, Nate's a really sharp guy, and he said, Coach, he said, I'll sorry about that. I said, he'll get it back. He's a smart guy. I trust him 100%, and it's just one of those things that you don't want to take a chance at. But yeah, I don't think you'll see Nate make a mistake like that again.
You touched briefly last week on Anu's role during the game, and fair or not, there's a perception that he's disengaged from the team sitting back there.
I don't see that. Again, I'm not turning around and looking behind me, but he's still traveling. He's active in the meetings. He's on. I know after every series, I think Coach Smith gets on the phone with him first before he gets on the phone with Brandon, and so I think he's 100% engaged. And again, I'm not looking around and seeing that, but Anu's he wants to win, and he wants to help Brandon out as much as he can when he's not out there.
Would you say he's close to being available, or?
I'll find out Thursday. I think he's better every week. It's just like some of those other guys. I don't know how many guys were out. Like Tellis didn't play, Nick didn't play, DeAndre Miller didn't play. Who else? There were some other ones. Parker Zellers didn't play. I think every day that that we come back, they get a little better, but some of them are going to be a little longer. A news thing is that as a quarterback, you got to, you obviously want to be 100%. You don't want to put anybody out there that's not 100% and can't be effective. So we'll see how the week goes.
To what do you attribute Sean Brown kind of becoming the leading receiver, well, statistically the leading receiver the last 2 weeks, but it seems like Brandon is looking for him a lot. Is that?
I don't know if he's just been the guy. I think it's been open sometimes, and Sean is a very intelligent player. He's the son of a coach, and he played some last year as a freshman, and now he's even more comfortable with it. I don't think it's. I know it's not just looking for this guy or that guy. It's just Sean has done a good job getting open, and he's made a couple like the one toward the end there. It was just a great play by him and Brandon.
With you mentioning Shun there, is there a concern at all that Brandon can't get the ball to some of the top guys like Nate and Samaje wasn't really involved much in the offense?
Now I got to throw who's most open. I don't ever worry about who it is. Now if we had like a freak like Calvin Johnson or one of them dudes, then you better. I mean, even if he's covered, you throw it to him. Those are the guys that are kind of freakish. But other than that, you want to throw it to the guy who's most open.
Any more questions for Coach?
The call where Nate did the waving of the arms, did you know that rule? Had you ever heard that before?
Yeah, I didn't see him. That's kind of a getaway call, get away from it. I didn't see him do that, so I couldn't argue because the official said he did that, and you saw it on film. He just did it one time, but that is the rule, and I knew the rule that once you do that, it's the same as waving a fair catch. You can't return it. So that was a correct call.
You mentioned the other night that you did not consider going for two at the end of the game, but you said you had a philosophy about that, et cetera. What is the philosophy? Where did it?
Well, you go to over. I mean, I think I've been in a few overtime games, and about a third overtime, you have to go for two. But I've never, I believe to get into that point, trust your team that you'll win it in overtime. I've never gone to the point where okay, let's go for two and try to win it in regulation. Your extra points are not always automatic, but if you feel pretty confident, extra point, get it and tie the game and give your chance to win it outright in overtime.
So it's not a field type of thing where you have some momentum and you say feel, it's just.
Home, away,
Right.
Tired, not tired. And I just, I said I've been in a few and over the years, and up until this point I think it was okay in overtime games. I don't know what the record was, but I like to go and, I'd rather you win it not right by a field goal or a touchdown or something like that, but I feel confident going overtime that we got, that we'll be able to pull it out.
Part of the question, though, is you're known for being a gambler. You do take chances on things. And
Yeah.
that was one of the strange things that people said, you do things unorthodox anyway. Why not?
Well, that's a little different gamble. They go for 4th and 1 on the 1 and not punting inside the 38-yard line and that kind of stuff, as opposed to going for a 2-point conversion where the percentages aren't as high as, kicking the extra point. It's my own personal flaw. I don't blame people that sometimes want to do it, and they may have their own reasons, but I don't like gamble just to gamble. It makes more sense to me not to punt inside the 38 and for 4th and 1 on the 1 that you go for 7 points and hope you keep them back. If you don't make it, you keep them back here and get the ball back, which we weren't able to do that. But so there's kind of a reasoning behind it, I guess.
Did you think that the snap on the last play was
A little bit off, yeah.
Are you concerned about the snapping at all?
We had a couple that Nate's been really good. There was a couple in this game that and Brandon's got a large, I guess, catch radius, so to speak. So if it's a little bit off, he's got long arms, he can do that. And there were a couple that Nate was just trying hard, and there was a couple that were a little bit off, and that one was just a little bit off. We still had a chance to do that, but it did kind of discombobulate the whole last play thing. But Nate's been, for first year, again, he's a first-year starter, been pretty solid.
Anything else for Coach?
Okay, thanks, guys.